How much money can you make day trading the S&P 500? How much money can you make employing a zero DTE strategy on a daily basis? Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So this video is maybe a little different. Usually I will go through our trading results and be transparent and document all of our trades. And I'll do that a little bit here, but more than anything, I'll put up all of our numbers so that you can pause the video if you want and look at each trade stamp and when we did them and what we brought in and what the actual results are. But I really want to use this forum today to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about what is the real potential of trading the zero date expiration? Can you make 50 bucks a day? Can you make 5,000 bucks a day? What is the real potential? And then I want to talk about money psychology and how money affects us in our thought processes and our daily actions, and how these two correlate. So let's first talk about the results that we got, and then I'll parlay that into talking about the real potential. So it was interesting, and I guess I want to use the last couple of days in our zero day to trading live trading room, our results there, as an example, because they were not anywhere near what you would call perfect days. Now, a perfect day, just an FYI, perfect day in a zero date expiration trading strategy would be that right at the open, we feel comfortable enough putting a full iron condor on, so we get both legs on immediately when the cash market's open, and we don't have to touch them. And we put all of our allocated capital into them. We don't layer into them. We just all in up front, and we don't have to touch them all day long. No adjustments throughout the day, and we don't exit early. We allow them to expire. That would be a perfect day, right? Those are maybe once out of every 7 or 8 occurrences, probably. And our last couple of examples here, this is from February the 16th and the 17th. We had a holiday, obviously, on Monday, and President's Day, and so we were able, generally we do zero date expiration Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we did them Tuesday and Thursday, or excuse me, Tuesday and Wednesday this week, the 16th and the 17th. We'll have another one tomorrow, this coming Friday. But I want to use these 2 days as examples because they were not exemplary in terms of execution. Now, I think based on what we had to work with on those days, we did a stellar job, and our results are I would say stellar. But it wasn't a clean day by any stretch of the imagination. You can see here. Here's the results for the 16th. The market opened up and about an hour or so into the day, and we can look at the timestamps here. I'll give you the timestamps as well. We always want to be transparent in what we do. And there we go. Here's our timestamps. So this is for the 16th right there. And you can pause the video at your leisure if you want and just go through each one of those individually. But as you know, we're very transparent. This is all in my real account in Tastyworks. They don't have a virtual trading account. So it's real money with real trades. There's the 16th results. There's the 17th results right there. And I want to get into those a little bit and just kind of talk about them. Okay, so the 16th results right here. We sold some puts down in here. You can see that wasn't really ideal. The minute that we sold those, the market started to sell off, right? So probably in hindsight, we should have started with the call leg rather than the put leg. And then we sold some calls up in here as the market started to rise. That was a pretty good trade, but the market continued to rise and rise and rise. And we ended up buying a hedge in here. We spent, you can look at the timestamps again. Right there, I believe. We bought, we spent $440. $440 out of our pocket there on that hedge that we purchased. And so it was an expensive day. When you're spending $440 of your potential profits back on insurance, that bites obviously into your potential profit. But nevertheless, we ended up the day with over $1,000 of profit on a $16,000 capital outlay, 6.6% return on the day. Okay. The 17th, even a little bit more of a challenge in that we did a good job timing our sale here. We sold calls early in the morning as the market weakened throughout the day. But right near the close, you can see from this point right on here, this was about noon my time. That's Pacific Standard Time. Mountain Time. I'm on Mountain Time. And from about maybe 2 hours, right, left in the market trading day. And the market just continually just marched higher and higher. Now, we watched our internals. We watched our up and down volume and looked at all of the 13 technicals. If you're not familiar with the 13 technical indicators that we use, I do have a video up on the YouTube channel on that. But we were keeping our eye on those closely, and we held on to the calls, and it expired fully profitable for us. And very similar results, actually a little bit better. In fact, we brought in $1,063 profit on a $15,000 capital outlay, 7% return for the day. Now, the reason that I just want to show you these examples, again, is because they're not stellar results. They're not perfect results. We weren't able to get a put leg in on this day. We only got one side of the trade in, and we spent about a third of our potential profits here on a hedge that we ultimately didn't end up needing, didn't end up using. And again, it was a prudent way to trade the day. But my point is this. I want to talk about real potential and the money psychology and how those two interact. So real potential. I have seen this approached in a couple of ways. And from the quote-unquote trading gurus out there, the one approach is basically, I don't know any other way to put it, it's a charlatan approach. It is a unethical, immoral approach with a appeal to individuals' greed. That is, whether they are selling a educational program or a trading service, however they're trying to extract money from you, their appeal is greed. Let me show you how rich you can get, right? And I think you guys know that that's just there's nothing that turns me off more than that, because hopefully you see through that, and hopefully you understand that there's no free lunch in life, and that while there might be good potential in the marketplace, there's also good risk, and they come hand in hand. And if you can make $1,000 in a 5-second trade, you can also lose $1,000, right? And the risk, of course, never gets really addressed in those situations. Now, the other side of the fence is the individuals that maybe are too cautious. All you will ever get from them when you talk about potential is, well, from a regulatory standpoint, from a liability standpoint, from a risk disclosure standpoint, we can never talk about profits. We can never talk about potential. The FTC, which is one of the main regulatory bodies that governs this whole industry of quote-unquote financial gurus out there selling trading programs, that's the number one thing they go after are quote-unquote earnings claims, right? So they can't talk about anything. They won't say anything. Well, I'm probably middle of the road on that. I'm never going to make a guarantee of any kind, because there are no guarantees there's no guarantees in life, and there are certainly no guarantees in the stock market. And so if anybody tells you, look, I can show you how to do XYZ safely, securely, without any risk, you shake their hand nicely, you run away quickly, right? It's just not how it is. There is risk involved. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about potential. What is the potential? And you can see here that the potential on $15,000, $16,000 of capital is about $1,000 a day of profit. And that's pretty accurate. That's what I would try to garner. That's what I would try to shoot for on any given day with that amount of capital. Sometimes it's as low as 2 or 3% a day. Sometimes it's as high as 11, 12% a day. But 6, 7% a day is a good target to shoot for on 0 day to expiration. No guarantees that we're going to get it. No guarantees that we're going to get it consistently. But again, we're talking about potential here. What is the potential? And the potential is that with $15,000 or $16,000 of capital, you can make $1,000 a day. Now, why do I talk about the real money potential? Again, no guarantees in life, no guarantees in trading, but the potential is important because I have always tried to set goals. And money goals need to be meaningful, they need to be specific, and they need to be detailed, right? They need to be tied to something. To say that you want to make $1 million, well, what does that even mean? Where does it go? What is it for? Why do you need $1 million? That seems like a very round number, right? So have very specific goals. And one of the things that I just kind of always thought of is, unless I go buy some Ferraris or something, I should probably be able to feed my family. I should probably be able to keep a roof over my head and food on the table if I felt like I had the ability to earn $1,000 a day. Now, again, there's no certainty to that. There's no guarantee to that. But again, I'm looking for the potential. Do I have the ability and the potential to do that? And the answer is yes. Now, once you see that, once you do that, once you're able to bring in $1,000 a day for a certain amount of time, it's a different time frame for everybody. Some people do it 2 or 3 times and they're hooked. Some people, it takes them months before they can believe in themselves that it's really real. But once you get there, then we get into the money psychology. And I want to talk about how important the money psychology is. As many of you know that have followed me for some time, I've had the privilege of working with a lot of amazing individuals, working with Robert Kiyosaki, hand in hand with him. And through Robert and Kim Kiyosaki, I was able to work with Tony Robbins, the great Tony Robbins. And one of the things that Tony Robbins did in one of the first meetings that I had with him was he gave us some instructions. And one of the instructions were to go get 10 $100 bills and put them in your wallet. And don't spend them. You can't spend them. You just leave them in there. And it was a psychology experiment. It was a way to get us away from that money scarcity mindset, which I've had many times in my life. I don't think of money in an abundant term. I think of it a lot of times from a scarcity standpoint, the idea that I don't have enough, not the idea that if I need more, I can just go make it, which is the right attitude to have. And at the time, I remember, number one, I didn't really have $1,000 just laying around. It wasn't easy to come up with $1,000, and then to put $1,000 in my wallet and not spend it, like go to lunch and have to use a credit card because I quote unquote didn't have any money, and yet I had $1,000 in my wallet that I couldn't touch. But I will tell you, in all of the psychological money experiments or exercises that I've been through in the decades of working with these great mentors, nothing really has ever impacted. I've always remembered that, and I've always tried to continue to adhere to that you felt a abundance of money in your life. You may be behind on your bills, but if you had $1,000 in your wallet, you felt abundant. You felt that in your mindset, and that mindset controls your actions, and your actions control your results, and your results control the bottom line. And so I just wanted to share this with you. If you don't have an opportunity right now in your trading to where you feel like you can actually go out and make $1,000 a day, you might want to take a look at zero data trading. It's frenetic, it's active, it's busy, there's risk involved. You have to stay on top of the trade. You can't set it up in the morning and just walk away from your computer for the rest of the day. But it is a critical part of my trading. And again, $15,000, $16,000 capital. Not everybody, I understand, has that amount, especially in today's economy with all of the things that we're dealing with. Not everybody has $15,000 of capital that they can throw at just one individual trading strategy. But it's also not $250,000. I remember going to trading camps and mastermind groups where a trader would pull $5,000 out of a trade, and I'd get all excited until I realized that he had $250,000 in the trade, right? Which was not a feasible number for me. So it's not an inconsequential $15,000 to go trade. It's not an inconsequential amount, but it's also not the world, right? It is a number that is obtainable for most people that are willing to put in the work and are dedicated to trying to build something. So if you're interested in the zero data trading expiration trade that we do have a live trading room that we do it in, and you can come check it out for a day and see if you like it and see if it fits your needs. But I think that everybody needs something. You know, I have 5 or 6 different portfolios that I trade in, and a lot of them are just the standard buy and hold, long-term value, let it grow, let it do its thing. But I do have a good portion that I focus on as active trading on a daily basis. My goal overall is to bring in $2,000 to $5,000 a day in income. I don't hit it every day, but the potential is there, and a good part of that is the zero data expiration trading. So if you're interested in taking a look at it, guys, check out the link below. I'll leave you a link below, and you can give it a one-day trial and come visit us in the live trading room, see what you think.